Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy P Fong thinking right out here in my lab. But I'm back in the book. Ooh, I got something good for you today. I'm gonna do my little storytelling. Got a nice little lesson for you. It's all about the creation story. We're gonna dress it up and dress it up, tell it over and over again. But the message is in the story. I got a good one for you. Let's go. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune into receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practiced daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I get through. Yeah, that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my yacht, be true. We at lesson number 5. We rolling, so I'm getting along. Now we're going to talk about the number order of the divinities and the mysteries of number for understanding the levels of creation and the path for what we call the psycho-spiritual journey up the tree of life. It's all mental, psychological. So let's get to the concept. This principle of Creator and his 9 divinities. I'm gonna break them down for you again, give you a little story to go with them so you get a better understanding, hopefully, so you can start incorporating them in your character. They got to become you. You got to become them. I'm gonna try to give you a story so you can implement it and do your due diligence and study them. Excuse me. They all got identities, okay? They all got their own stories. All right, so let's go. Now, based on, we dealing with the Anuian theology, as it is presented in what we call the theurgy, the study of the gods. We dealing with the gods, not the philosophy, just the gods and the concept and the aspect. That's what's you. That's what represents you, aspects of your character. And it's called the theurgy of the ancient Egyptian pyramid. I have that information. Just want to say, I took my other hat off. I put the hat on. I said, nah, I didn't go good with the gray. So I put the sage hat on. So again, that had Kango, okay? I changed them Kango for sage. Still say, look, got to break the brim. Ace deuce trade, you know how we do. All right, let's go. My bad, I had to get that in. All right, where we at? Okay, we doing the pyramid text, and that's where I got all my information from personally. And it's called the Kemetic Scriptures. Not Egyptian. Kemetic. Understand that. That's the oldest concept. And the order of nomenclature and the attributes, okay, now of the ancient Egyptian divinities. They took over of what? The creation. Everybody has a creation story. I love their creation story. Let's go. It's a few versions. This is the, I call it the GP version, okay? So, okay, creation, and it may be viewed as follows. As with our African religions, ancient Egyptian religion follows a format of recognizing what we call a supreme being and the transcendental divinity out of which all the lesser divinities, meaning out of the one came the many. I'm not going to keep doing that thing over. But emanate or emerge from, in the Anuian theology, God, creation. We are presented with the divinities that compose, okay, the gross and the subtle elements of creation, as well as the psychological principles that make up the psyche of human beings. They had this mind thing covered a long time ago. Let me get a quick little look at this, what they're saying. At the top here, this is the supreme being, the Bircher, this all-encompassing. Everything encompasses, I mean, he's inside, everything is inside him. He is the all, okay, unlimited. And from there, you're going to get what we got, Ra, from the noon, can what? Let there be. When creation started, light, y'all call it the Big Bang, whatever, but that's when Ra, that's the sun that's in the sky. And the elements are air, moisture, earth, and heaven. Those are 5 elements. So we're going to break that down. And below that, you see that this is what we're learning from right here. You got Asar, Aset, Set, Neptet, and Haru-Ur. These are the 5 God's children. That the 5 holidays, we started at the year was 360 days. We added 5 days, economical days, meaning the celebration of the what? Children of God. So you have 5 extra days, hence the 365 days. So this is a little tidbit there. But the human part, the top part was cosmic, which is elements. The bottom part is the human, which is the soul, the wisdom, the ego, the mortality, understanding nature, mother nature, and Haru. That's you, the perfect blend of what we call spirit and matter come together to make us. That's Haru, that's the spirit. And when we reach greatness and our full potential, that's when we reach what? Knowledge of self. So we're going to quick little story. I hope you enjoy it. Let's go. Try to get you to walk you through it. I won't try to go so fast, but it's good information. I'm trying to make it make sense. I'm about to give you what they call the account of the creation of the goddess and goddesses of creation, according to the creation theurgy, spelled Theurgy of Anu. Anu means the first place, the first time. The gods from Mesopotamia, the Anunnakis, the one that come from heaven, comes to earth. That's their story, that's their concept. We all got a creation story. We all have a philosophy. And because they say what they say, I ain't saying nobody right or wrong. You got the right to follow whatever you. I chose the commissions. Moving on. And everybody have a story. This is ours. I go. Now, Anu, which is the account from Plutarch. And this is the Greek historian. Like everything he says is, law, I guess. So we're going to get his philosophy. It breaks down. It's going to be 7 little chapters. Yeah, and it's going to break down, each one going to give a little bit of information. I'm going to add lib to it to get a little more, hopefully, understanding. So let's go. First, in every culture, every tradition, everybody start off with what? In the beginning. We know different. They didn't originate that, we did. Okay, again, I'm giving you the origins of all the stuff that y'all know about. And that Bible is only 2,500 years old. Ain't nothing in there authentic. Nothing. Please understand that. I'm not knocking it, but I'm giving you stuff that y'all know. Yeah, y'all heard it before, yeah, but you heard it from the Bible. I'm giving you where it comes from. Okay, understand that. Let's go. Storytelling time. In the beginning, there was the primeval ocean, the noon, y'all call it the abyss. And from it rose Ra, that thing up in the sky. This is creation. Roll with me now. Let me have my fun. Okay. Now, the first level, it says 1.1, upon his emergence out of the noon, okay, the primeval ocean, Ra, that's when time and space began. Why? When there's the noon, there's nothing. All potential, but nothing. No account of nothing, okay? What come out of that is Ra, the energy, Ra, the sun, okay, visible, okay? The essence is always there. That's the noon. Noon is God also, okay? Part of that concept. But watch this. Now, upon his emergence, and it said his, it didn't say her. This magnificent God created all that came into being from where? His own self. Self-created. So God didn't have a mother. God didn't have a father. He didn't have no parents conceptually. This is the story. In the beginning, there was that concept. We created all that too. Also, watch this. So by himself, by his lonesome, he started manifesting from the thought. Then he uttered into existence. Heka, words of power. So he's creating. As he's speaking, he's creating things into existence. We've got the same ability made in that image. Why? We can manifest a thought, we can create it in our mind and speak it into existence and then manifest it. Same qualities that God has. Just want to get a little tidbit. See, those little things I just throw in, just help you along the way. But this is the concept. And they didn't have a concept for God. They called him the nurture. Labar, nurture. Okay, and Netaru was his offspring or his workers' elements. Okay, but he made everything from his own self. Get back to the lesson, sorry. And he existed within his creation. When religion tell you God sits up high and looks down low, that's just wrong. According to this, God is in his creation. I understand that wholeheartedly. That's the spirit is in us, is God. As one exists what? Within one's own body. This is God's body. The universe, the world is God's body. That's the concept. That's why the circle, the first concept of God represented by the sun disk, the circle. Okay? This is all just knowledge that I try to accumulate. It only means something to those who acquire it or want to know about it. A lot of man, we don't want to know that nonsense. So again, for those who want, I'm giving it to y'all. And next one, 1.2. After he created everything, his body, he now they got a few stories. This was going to be the pleasant one. I like this one because I could teach this one to the children, as I call it GP. He sneezed and created air. Okay, dry air, so that we can inhale. That's shoot, that's air. That's what God sneezed into existence. And then he spit out tough newt. That's moisture. Makes sense, spittle. Okay, see? And my thing is, as you go along, I'm gonna try to keep everything so you can understand it. Everything should make sense. You ain't got to like it, agree with it, but it should follow a pattern that makes sense that you can understand. That's all I'm saying. That way you can work with it, not work with it, but at least it makes sense. Let's go. So, again, after doing these things, he sneezed out shoe, spat out tough newt, and they, in turn, they gave rise to, now they both got a story. Shoe, tough newt, came out. See, my back is scratched. My back is, but the story go, quick story. Shoe and tough newt came out. They went and swimming in the noon. The noon was the water, so they were obviously fish, so they'd be going to the water. Okay, quick story. Now, at their swimming, they got lost. Ra is a little worried. Where kids at? Okay, he plucks out his eye of consciousness. I ain't got much stuff about that. I'm using my eye. Okay, but he plucked out the eye instead of the eye of consciousness. Okay, that's one eye. You got two. He plucked out one, right? So the eye goes, finds shoe and tough newt, brings it back. Now when he get back, the eye gonna go back to the head. He done replaced the eye. Okay, so now the eye starting to get a little upset, and the eye is female. How about that? Okay, pay attention now. And y'all know two women can catfight. So he took eyes and put your head. She represents the third eye. That's where that concept comes from, okay? That's what the eye of consciousness sent out to help out. The story goes where he sent his daughter out to do work. Another story, but this is Shoe and Tough Nut story. That's how they got discovered. And they said he was happy by seeing him, and the tears from Ra made man. Another story, okay? Everybody had a concept. That's how they say man was made. Everybody got a way that God made man, okay? That was theirs. We got another way. In return, Shoe and Tough Newt gave rise to who? Newt, which represents heaven. Gab represents earth. The story goes with them is they was in a love embrace. Heaven and earth was like this. Now he got air to breathe. We got moisture to take care of the earth. But we got to separate earth in heaven. Why? They doing the wild thing. Clapping, okay? And Rod's a little turn with that. He said, shoot. First he told them, stop. Chill, okay? Separate. You leave, like what do kids do? Everybody's back, and okay, so he said, shoot, go handle that. So now, because they broke Rod's order, their punishment. Shoot, and fellas, understand, the woman is always on top. She represents heaven. Okay, all that. No, she represents heaven, and plus she got the courage, and she moved. Oh, it makes sense. Watch this. She goes up to heaven. That's what she represents. She's covered her man. The woman covers the man. She's the starry deck heaven. That's the lady with the two holes. Another story. But she represents heaven. And earth. Gad. All the time you see the monuments, That represents Gab's penis, philosophically, metaphorically. That's his penis. Why? Because him and Newt was getting busy. And while he was getting busy, what happened? Newt got pregnant. Ra was pissed off. She can't give birth. She's pregnant, but she can't give birth. How that's gonna go? Not too well. So now in comes my dude. So I get back to this. I get caught up. I love this story. But every one of them have his identity. Earth is Gab. Okay, he's a little upset that they took away his girl, so he's still rock hard. All right. And the god is Newt, which is the god of Gab, were united with in the enamorous embrace. See, this is something that I can tell the kids. Okay. And since they had always had love for each other before there's anything else going on, they still loved each other. They just was like that. So the earth loved heaven. And Dr. Ben say heaven is between what? A black woman's legs. Where we come from? Black woman's leg. Where we try to get through? When we try to get back to? Between the legs again. I sit between the legs, okay? Conceptually, that's the metaphor for Masons. They understand that too. That's the Caduceus, the serpents. That's two ladies. Frankie Crocker, he can get two pieces. I was Frankie Crocker. Moving on. All right, but the goddess Newt and Gab, they represented earth and heaven conceptually. And they loved each other deeply, so they always were doing the wild thing until they got caught, they got punished. Now, another story about Ra's punishment. He don't just punish, I got a punishment a couple of weeks, I had to stay in the house, couldn't go out, okay, weeks, two, whatever, okay, month, whatever, okay. But Ra is eternal. From the time they separated, when Shu separated, Newt pushed her up, and Gab, he stepped down here to separate them. Remember, Shu, it represents air. You see a picture where you see Shu pushing up heaven. Yeah, that's the story. They tell that story in just that picture, him pushing her up and Gab sitting down, okay? They got a picture for that. I just know the story. The story's good. But when you do your homework, they're good stories. Okay, moving on. But they tell a lesson. I'm learning these stories so that I can get the understanding concept, and everything just made so much sense. I just was engulfed, so it made a lot of sense. Moving on. But at the love embrace, they got caught, separated. Now, for eternity, she'll always look down on Gab. He'd always gaze up, but they'd never get together again. Don't violate Ra's law. Remember, eternity is a long time. And it ain't ever going to happen again. So some things you might understand that. Okay, now section number 2. From their union, Newt and Gab, okay, Newt got pregnant. But because Ra was pissed off, he decreed, again, what he said. They say, when you see the Pharaoh, so I say, so it'll be done. That got that from Ra. What Ra say, that's what's going to be done. When I pray, don't the Father, what he said, what's going to be done, that's the concept. Ra had decreed that what? They should not be separated. They should be separated. He separated them. And that Newt could not give birth in any month or any day of the year. Back then, 360 days. Okay, conceptually. And at that time, he also, Ra, decided to retreat. The story goes, Ra would walk the earth with man, and like he getting old. At Tim is the old man. They tell you the story. At the beginning, sunrise, he's young, fresh. That's the scarabs. Okay, that's Kepri. New birth, they born full grown. They born ready to go. So that's the new day, they're ready to go. That's Kepri. At full noon, at high noon, 12 o'clock, he's Ra and all his majesty. Everybody bows to him. Lunchtime, everybody started, yeah, okay, but that concept was for Ra. And in old age, you see an old man bent over, spittle come out of his mouth, he's holding the cane. That's the fact of life. The sun, they showing you, it's just like, they just made everything so simple. We just read everything and messed it all up. It's the simplicity of it, it still works. Watch this. And in old age, he's 10. All right, but the concept is he decided to leave. Why? Because man was mocking him. He said, okay. When he left, he told his daughter, his other eye, go down there and kill all the unrighteous. That means if Sodom and Gomorrah story, same concept, kill all of them who don't respect me. And if you ain't living right, that means you ain't respecting God. And he says death to you. For all sinners who don't get it, death to y'all. And the physical body still dies, don't it? So it makes sense conceptually. You can just follow the pattern. The story's still going, I gotta speed up a little bit. But now he decided, all right, I'm leaving, man. I'm going up to heaven, hang out with my daughter Newt. So anybody who can make it up here, they good. Why? They gotta have passing skills in my yacht. So he set everything up and he boogie. And became an inactive participant while his celestial boat that he rides through on a daily basis, the sun represents Ra coming across the boat. He's still shining light on us. He's still going to give us his majesty for 12 hours, and then he got to take care of business in the doo-wop. Well, he got to go out and deal with his enemy. He got an enemy too. Another story. Darkness, light and dark, always fight. Okay? And neither one of them can be destroyed. Every night, Ra defeats the prophets, the giant serpent, and what? Every time he shines, he come back. Soon he go back down, and he back again. So yeah, it's an ongoing fight. That's the try. But again, it's like a story of life. Story of life. And he became an active participant in his creation by what? And they abide in heaven. He hung out of heaven where all who would seek him must go. See where we're going with this? All right, he set the stage. This is 2.2. Now, from that position, up in the sky, he can support his creation. If that sun don't rise, we ain't got a snowball chance in hell to exist. Am I correct? So they didn't respect the sun because they thought it was God. They understood the importance, okay? They know who put it there was God. Ding, 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 ding. And that same thing put in there is inside you. They figured that part out too. Trust me. And he supports creation as he traverses in the form of the sun, celestial boat, making it possible for what? All life to exist and flourish on earth. Gad, his son, okay? In the morning, he is known as Khepri, the scarab-haired beetle, the 3 phases, okay? Comes out on 4 legs, stop at sunrise, full tilt at his prime. A man, his prime is always like this. Old age, they get, see, he didn't want the gray. He was at that age. So when you get the gray, it shows you get old. Okay, I ain't dying this. Why? I'm old. That's respect. I ain't not trying to be young. I done been there. I don't want that. So I ain't beat for that. Again, ego. Okay, vanity. But he starts out in the morning. The sun is Khepri. At high noon, prime of his life, he's Ra. Okay, the energetic, the fire. Okay, and at sunset, he's the old man, he's Tim. He's going in, yeah. But he know when he going in the west, he symbolically die, but he don't die. He just got to go in there. It's a fight, and he got to call his boys. That's why I said, if you hear any noise, it's Ra what? Calling all his boys. And they tell you the story where he called everybody, all hands on deck. Okay, we got to go fight this big crazy thing. Symbolically, that's your internal war that you have with yourself. Again, this is all about life. It's life story. Good story. But also, I said 2.4. Now, from here, he witnesses what? All of the activities and the events of his creation. The eye in the sky, the all-seeing eye. And when you wake yourself up consciously, that all-seeing eye is internal eye, and you the third eye, okay? The pineal gland. They knew all of that. So they had the head covered a long time ago. I just figured that out too. But now, in his absence, when he go down in the west, his absence, now he created what we call Tahuti. That's his thought concept. That's his mind. That's the God. That's Ba's God. Right thinking. His minister and his messenger. We got Tahuti. The Greeks got Hermes, and the Romans had Mercury. All these was God messengers. Okay, all of the Tahuti thought, Hermes, and Hermes Trismegistus, and Mercury. They all had the wings on their head to fly and get the message from God. They represent in the Yoruba tribe, they call Legba. He walked between 2 worlds. One foot is in heaven with God, the other foot is down here in hell with man. And he's the connection between the two. I like that concept too. He wanted to meet at the crossroads. But this all messengers from God, and that's what Tahuti represents. Your mind, okay? Through whom he what? He Ra would manage and sustain his creation. So Ra is also in your mind. That's the right thinking, right reasoning process that we have. And that's what? Always there, even at what? Judgment Day. He tell you, I'll be with you to the end. Tahuti don't leave you, okay? Number 3, Ra instituted himself, right there, as the what? Sustainer of his creation when during the day and at night he illumines creation as during the day and illumines creation as what? The sun, the eye in the sky, the little dot in the circle. In order for you to make a circle, you need a compass. That's a little instrument that Masons use to make circles, okay? That circle is God. That dot is you. You circumcise and keep yourself in God's due bounds, acting right, doing right, and being right, and He will reward you. Moving on, conceptually. Moving on, this concept. But it worked. Why? If you practice it, you'll see the beauty of it. That's the whole idea. Philosophically, that's a philosophy. Principle, you can practice and manifest. That's the difference. And the same thing with religion. They tell you to do this, don't do that, don't do that. Yeah, y'all do it, you fine. If you do, yeah, you get punished. Moving on. But He instituted Himself in creation. That's my point. And while setting Tahuti, which is the mind, up in the form of a baboon, to what? To watch over His creation at night in the sign of the moon. Concealed the moon sign from Mut and Amun and Mut. So he stole, Tahuti, mind, stole 5 days from the sun. From the moonlight, and was able to have Nut give birth to what? To celestial children, the cosmic forces that we're about to talk about right now, the moon. And after that, number 4, chapter 4. Now, having become pregnant due to sexual intercourse with Nut and Gad, now Nut pregnant as the result of her sexual union with Gad. Now, Nut gave birth to Asar, soul, from spirit to matter. Asar represents that he's the 6th element, but he's human. That's us, the flesh. But he gets killed. Asar, Set, which represents our ego. He kills his brother, chops him up, kills him pretty much twice, kill him and chop him up again, okay? So your ego is not good to your spirit. Conception, when I break it down a little more, you got a Set. She represents what? Your intuitive wisdom, your knowledge to what to do right, be right, and hold yourself to do just that. Her and Set never got along. Okay, why? He didn't do right, and they could never get along. But he killed her husband. Moving on. Let that. She represents mortality in man, knowing that the physical body, she's original Mother Nature. Not Newt, not Gaia, no. Not that. The aspect in you, the mortal part of you, the human part, that's Mother Nature. Anything that's born will die. She represents that. And Haru, the spirit that's in me and you, but he's born full grown, great within himself. And you see him as a kid, sucking from his mother, Aset, nurturing her. She also taught him he had the Princess Lot. Once he become a warrior, why? By defeating his evil uncle, his consciousness, the evil ego that's inside him that killed his father. He's a better man. I did my job. He got taken out by his ego, okay? I took care of business. Ego didn't get me. That's the concept. That's one of my personal life stories. That's how I use it symbolically to work from in my life. You can symbolically make anything work. Get inspired, get motivated, and use it for what? To do. Now, you got it. Now put it to work. Like T.D. Jakes said, you find what works for you and then you work it. That's the name of the game of life. I got one more before I shut it down because I know I'm going to roll out. No, I'm rolling out. I ain't going to stop. You know the deal. I keep looking at that. No, let's get this lesson out. I'm about to have some fun. Now, having been pregnant, she had to give her birth to the kid. The only way she could give birth to them was Tahuti had to win a 70th of the year, which is 5 days to her to give birth. And, Ra didn't like that either. There's another story. When the man of the house makes his peace, and what he said don't go, the house ain't gonna be at peace. So understand that. So women, somebody different. Women got just as much power. Don't get it twisted, man. I don't know who told y'all women got to be so subservient to man. Women's on top. Women run the show. I don't care what you think, how you feel. That's just a fact. Moving on. I'm not here to debate. All right, making a point. Now, Tahuti, which is your mind, your consciousness, your higher level intellect, who being wise, which is supposed to be, and caring for Newt, was able to win the 7th part of each day of the year, and that have those add up to what? To additional year of the year, the extra 5 days. And we call those epimagonal days, or the 5 days of what? The year. He added, they call them the super days, added days. And now he added the 5 days on 365 days in which the year now still consists of. Okay, so that's the story for that. Everything fall in line. You start thinking about certain things. Oh yeah, that's what I'm trying to show you. There ain't a whole bunch of superstitious mumbo jumbo nonsense. Trust me. These 5 days are those days we call epimagonal. And that means super days, super added days, okay, to the calendar. The Emperor Constantine, they changed the whole everything around. We ain't got time for that. But that's what this original concept came from. And what? They were observed as what? The birthdays of the gods. We call them holidays, celebrity, whatever. No, birthdays of the gods. That's only thing should be celebrated. Not Columbus Day, not President's Day, all that everybody day, Black History, all that nonsense. No, you represent the 5 gods, okay? And that's what it was all about. Moving on. Intentionally. But watch this. Now, on the first day, I'm going to break down the 5 days right quick. I can finish this up. It's going to be a minute, but this is this stuff right here. More meat and potatoes. Hopefully you can understand this. I got to get in there. On the first day, first of those 5 days, a Asar was born. Remember the story? And and as he came into the world, a voice was heard saying, "The Lord of all, the virtue is born." Sound familiar? When that thing about y'all said Christ and with him, that's where he come from. Moving on. I tell you, we all got a story. Every story got a story. Everybody got a story. It come from somewhere. Moving on. But now, chapter 6, we get to the end. Now, upon the second day, that was the first day. So, Asar is God in the flesh, ordained by the Creator. Hello? Now, upon the second day was born who? Haru. That's me and you. That's the spirit that's going to carry on. Watch this. That's this warrior spirit from his father. Haru, the elder. At this time, he's not Asar's son. He's Asar's brother. He's the equal, okay, spiritually. But now upon the third day, and everybody got a story, even the Indian Hindus got a story where Set was born, and he bogarted. He came out to the world neither at the proper time or the proper way. Why? He forced a passage through the womb in which he made in his mother's side. He came out of Newt's side. Conceptually, metaphorically. Okay, that's the story go. Why? They showing you how the ego just rambunctious. The ego ain't, it's uncouth. It need to be coofed, meaning controlled. It's uncontrolled. Once you control it, it's the best thing going. That's your best fighter, okay? He's the best thing you can have. Now, upon the fourth day, Aset was born as what? She was born in the marsh of Egypt. And upon the fifth day, Nephet was born. Now, depending on who tells the story, Nephet was last to be born. But she represents, now, Aset represents immortality. Nephet represents mortality. Yin and yang, the two serpents, Mayate, that's what they represent, okay? One represents nature, one represents immortality. And that's when Nephet was born. And now, at the end, as regards to the father, now this way it get a little tricky. But I'm going to play a little game with this. If I would do the midnight, if I do the night show, this is why I would get, play a little game with my old man. What's this? Now, in regards to the fathers of these 5 children, they say the first 2 are said to have been by Ra. Aset by Tahuti, and Set and Nephet by Gad. So Newt, I got to look at this Newt. Newt got a few baby daddies. That's how I would present, but that's not what it is. I was going to play that game with that, but that was yeah, you got a few baby daddies. You got that. Moving on, I ain't going to mess with that. I let that go. But that was my mindset. But now, number 6. So therefore, since the third of the super added days was the birthday of Set, bad luck day, all the kings considered it to be unlucky, all right? Plus he came out black, red, all messed up, okay? And in the consequence of that, they neither, what's this, transacted any business. Real holiday, ain't nothing going on. Wow, Set birthday. Okay, got you, they understood. What's this? Now in it, nor even did they suffer themselves to take any refreshments until sundown. They fasted on that day. I'm just saying, that's how important it was to them at that point in time to do certain things. We still practice the same things, but for different reasons and whatever, but that's where it comes from. Let me wrap it up with this one. Now, at the 7th ending, this is the fun part. The further added that Set married Nephet. Set, the ego. You see, he is the half this, half that. He's a unique composite, one of a kind, and he's impotent. Why? He's been castrated by his by Haru. Okay? Why? Because he married Nephat. And that Isaac and Asar got married because they had a mutual love affair while he was in the womb of Nut. Remember, they couldn't come out, so they was always in there, doing their thing while now getting ready for the real world. So at the time, but Set and Haru was at war, and Set lost his testicle. But before then, the concept of Set not being able to make a reproduction ain't but one of him. You don't need but one ego. Ain't nothing else. How many doubles we got? How many apostles we got? Okay. How many gods we got? Infinite. Think about it. Moving on. So they understood the difference between good and bad. They didn't know. They didn't need a whole bunch of them. He would manifest that on his own. But again, whatever bad character my son had, he didn't get it from me. Why? I only gave him the good stuff. Now, he manifests that for himself. That's what life is about. You give them what they need, they'll add the rest as they go. Trust me. And they showing this concept that Set is a unique person, and that wanted a baby. So that went to Asar, had a baby. That's your discernment. That's Anubis. That's Anpu. He runs the afterlife. And when Asar came down, he put him on the throne, let him take care. Now he's dedicated and loyal to Asar. And just like in hell, in the afterlife, Anubis take you to his father. In the physical world here, in the afterlife before you go, Haru take you to his father. You're going to go, one's up there and one's down here. This way it is, conceptually. And I use my cartoon character, Speed Racer. Racer X was his big brother. He always looked out for his little brother, make sure nothing happened to him. Why? He's the good guy. He white. He wear the white. He's that everybody love. Yeah. Good guys don't always wear white. The original good guy wear black. Get that in. I couldn't wait to get that one in. Asar is called the perfect black. And watch this. Now having Asar and Aset having mutual affection, enjoying each other in their mother's womb. Again, Nut. Now, even before they was born, watch this. And that from this union sprang Haru, the elder whom the Greeks call Apollo. 7-1 wrapped it up. Asar and Aset gave birth to Haru, conceptually, and Asar and Nephat gave birth to Anubis, Anpu. Again, immortal. The afterlife is where Anubis, which is your discernment. Why? He the one got to tell if you're telling the truth or telling a lie. He the one that keeps the scales on my eye. He the one that makes sure you get a fair shot. So whatever it is, that's what it's going to be. He going to take you one way or another, okay? Either going to go see Ahmet or you're going to go see Asar. Your choice. Again, that's the punishment in life. And everybody had the same opportunity. Simple as that. And it was fair for all across the board. It wasn't a black and white thing. It wasn't everybody had the fair opportunity to know what? Thyself. That's a lesson. I hope I made my point. I got more for you. Right thing is I enjoyed this. This was fun. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'll be back. And in closing, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus that day. Because see, I know I'll never pass away. So I want my right thinkers to know that if they get themselves together, know thyself, they won't pass away either. I see you up there.